Welcome, you beautiful faces. We're here doing something a bit different. We're doing a watch-along for opposite teams. We've got Richmond versus the Magpies at the home of Carlton Football Club at Icon Park. I'm excited about this one. I am. I'm genuinely excited. I like a bit of funny. Got rocking clips in, Durden, sad face, syndesmosis. A lot of injuries pre-season, isn't there? I don't know what everyone thinks about it. Like, Is it more than we usually have? Or is it more we're just hearing about it a bit more? What do you guys and girls think? It does seem bizarre that we're having so many. I just feel like we're probably talking about it more. I think we've seen these like niggling injuries before from other people. I could be wrong though. I have been wrong many a time. Tiger Time, g'day mate. I'm glad you're here, mate. Bit of a Tiger representation. Super excited there. Looking forward to this. I've got lots to take out of this game. This game's going to be a really interesting one. G'day, mate. Yeah, Gus, though, would you say that if they did State of Origin, though, it would be, like, really juvenile like it was last time, where, like, it was like a charity game? G'day, Tiger Time. How you doing, mate? I think it would be like the last State of Origin we had, where it was just like basically a runabout. Like it was all attack. So the teams that we're going to be seeing for Richmond, we've got Nick Vlostin, Benny Miller, Jacob Blight, Tom Brown, Jaden Short, and Nathan Broad, Tom Dow, Jack Ross, James Trezay, Seth Campbell, Steely Green, great name, Maurice Rioli, Ryan Mansell, Jacob Bauer, Samson Ryan, Toby Nankervis, Taranto and Hopper come back. On the bench, Banksy, McIntosh, Sonzi, Armstrong, first taste of looking at the big boy, Luke Traynor, McAuliffe, Forsyth and Sims, and then the Pies, they've named a very strong side. Very strong side. Darcy Moore, Reef McInnes continues filling in at back. Howe, Josh Dacos, Dan Houston, Isaac Quaynor, Chris Perryman, Lipinski, Hill, Elliott, Schultz, McStay, Membry, Myercheck, with Cameron Sidebottom and Nick Dacos scheduled to be on the ball, with Markoff, Pendlebury, McCreary, Oskin Elliott, Frampton, Long, Ed Allen, and Will Parker as their backs. As their extras. We're looking forward to this one. Should be a good game though, shouldn't it? Unfortunately, I can't do mate. If I do, I'll get... It's not Gill anymore, is it? Laura Kane and Christiansen will bundle me into a back of a car and talk to me for 2 hours. That'll be my punishment. Asked a chick on the beach for a number today. She said she was cute. Then asked me to come over for a ginger beer and some lunch. Well, I tried to make it. Mate, bad times. Bad times, brother. Bad times. Mate, good to see you, mate. Hey, Tiger Time, though. Remember, it's about like what you guys get out. I want to see Collingwood with some transition the ball. Yeah, that was in my 5 things to watch out for. I can't wait to appear on your podcast, mate. I'm looking forward to it. I am keen as a bean. Keen as a bean. Are you looking forward to having me on the podcast? Always a risk, mate. I'm a bit cut loose. So I've got like 8 screens up at the minute, so we can keep up to date. But I will be on your podcast. That's not far away, is it? 2nd of March, isn't it? So that's, what, week today? Who are we looking forward to? And chat, tell me, what are you looking for in today's game? Like, what are you taking out? I know if you're an opposition fan, I mean, from a personal point of view, I just want to see what Richmond do. Definitely, just see what we're up against in round 1. Pies, I'm really intrigued how that backline works. I'm really hot on Reef McInnes has got to free up Darcy Moore so we get Darcy Moore back to what we saw of him a couple of years ago. And the Dan Houston, Josh Dacos combination, I'm really intrigued to see because that half-back line looked lost without Nick Dacos last year. And I want to see where they are. But Richmond, I think, Tiger Time, would it be fair to say that this is like a lesson-building year? I hate that phrase. But if you know what I mean, it's about getting the runs in the board for the kids. And I said it in my video, I don't know if you watched it, Tiger Time, that it's about your second-tier players, isn't it? Year 2s, 3s, 4s, them taking that responsibility to drive you forward. Right, see what Mick says. My wife asked me to stop singing I'm a Believer, great tune. She found it annoying. I thought she was kidding, but then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. Yeah, Tiger Time. I'm going to probably overuse that phrase, so I apologise. Sorry. I agree with you, Max. I want to see a little bit of grind. Like, I think a lot is expected of Tim Taranto now. Like, this is where him and Hopper particularly earned their big bucks, protecting them young kids. Do you know what I mean? Protecting them young kids and allowing them a safe space to hone their craft. Tiger Time, it did my head in, mate, when Carlton were like, it was like every week I got told it by like mates, friends, family. Oh, it's just learning, Pom, though. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. And I was like, yeah, but I'm sick of losing by 70. Should be a good game. I've got to say, Tiger Time, I don't know what your thoughts are. You'll remember it when you were like the top team and we were struggling. But I was having a chat to my mate today just about the Richmond game, and he was like, oh, we've got to go out there, you know, and punish them and stuff. And I was like, when Richmond were really good, that never happened, did it? Do you know what I mean? It never really happened because we were rubbish, but we gave you a fight. So that'll be a struggle. You know what, Stoodsy? Thank you very much for that, mate. I didn't, because I am a bad human being. I'll do that right this minute. Got a bit of time, mate. Got a bit of time. Copy link. There you are, lads. Hey, thank you very much. Cheers, studio, mate. Broden, good day, mate. I remember the younger days, sort of took winning for advantage. Mate, spot on. As a Man United boy, I'm the same. When I was like getting into my teen years, that's when United were just dominant. And I kind of forgot not winning the league all the time, what it's like. Bit of Pornhub, mate. That was quite... I had so much fun dropping that the other night. Honestly, best day of my life. Noah, good day, mate. Yeah, Tiger Time. I get the feeling that it's going to be a cagey game. Is it? I've only got one person joined on mine. Try again. Try again. Dana, g'day. Brandon, mate, how you doing? Joseph, how do I think we'll fit up? I think it's going to be really exciting. I think you're going to see a return to Nick Dacos, the flag year win, where you just were hot off the injection. The one I'm really intrigued about is Reef McInnes. Can he free up Darcy? Because I feel like Darcy last year was bogged down defensively, where his best football is free-flowing. Baggers Podcast, I agree, mate. Do you know what I mean? I agree. I just get the feeling that them type of games, Richmond and Carlton, the game is so fierce that it ain't going to be like... I can see Carlton winning by a lot, but honestly, in my heart of hearts, I just don't believe we win by that much. G'day, Hyperfly. How are you doing? Inflatable Cactus. G'day, mate. Long time no see. Seen your beautiful face around these parts. Manny, I mean, he doesn't have... I see him as... He's just got to aspire to be Nathan. You know, Nathan Murphy. Just Just keep the defender honest enough so Darcy can float. Do you know what I mean? I don't think, like, I know people overrate it. Like, Carlton are having the same thing. Jesus played down the back. I've got people telling me that he's going to be his dad. Like, the best I hope for from Jack is he's just reliable. I am with you, Brandon. Who is the 10-pounder? Am I missing the joke? Oh, £10 pom. Is it? Have I just missed that joke? Yeah, Manny, someone's got to do it though, haven't they? Like, who would you suggest? Because your young kids are too young. How good's a quarter pounder, mate? Hey, Pasquale, how you doing? Damien? Scotty, how you doing? JD? Welcome to the chat, mate. Looking forward to this one. Gotta say, you know, Richmond's training Guernsey looks schmidt, doesn't it? I don't mind Frampton's. I thought Frampton, you know, last year got a lot of abuse. What do you think, Manny? I think some people expect way too much when you've got an elite defender like Darcy Moore. Like, it happens with Carlton, everyone goes, oh, why can't Lewis Young be like Jacob Wheatering? And I'm like, bro, thank you, mate. Do you know what I mean? Thank you, Hyperfi. Hey, you've got Mbappe. I packed Mbappe the other day on FC25, so I'm stoked. Smiley and Layla, it's gutting, but I like your team out there. It's a strong team. The Charity Shield Cup. So if you're Arsenal fans, there we are. We've started anyway. If you're an Arsenal fan, you know all about that. Yeah, I mean, I think for Richmond, they've just got to, like, it's working on structure, getting everyone in place and stuff like that. First chance to see Houston bomb in and Nan Curvis filling in down back. Good little mark there. I agree, Sundal. I think, honestly, and Manny, I'd love to know your opinion. Some players just get really overrated, don't they? You know what I mean? Because there's a good player in there, everyone thinks everyone can do it. And it does do my head in. You see it with Melbourne, with Harrison Petty. Melbourne fans used to slate him, and I used to think he was the reason that Lever and May could be free and take intercept marks. Noah, thank you, mate. Welcome aboard, my brother. How are you? Free kick here. Nick Dacos straight into the action. Holding. Bit of a swing as well there. But he will take the shot in front of Carlton's monogram. Nick Dacos. Bit of Nick Dacos froth. He is a bit good. Put on a bit of size, has he not? He looks a bit bigger. Oh, that's cool, that man. Welcome, both of you. He has got more broad-shouldered, hasn't he, Nick? Dinks it in. And a nice teamwork there. Bobby Hill. Hey, Baggers Podcast. You've been here a while, mate. It's good to see you. Nice little crew we've got going here. Got Cousins in there. Hyperfire Noah App. Love it. They're the ones that kill you, aren't they, Tiger? Time. You know, them ones where it's like a bit of a switch off. He's now 15 metres in front of goal. You know what, as a Carlton fan, how easy it was to get inside 50. And then how straight that kick was. It does hurt a little bit. He might be. He has got broad shoulders, though. Like, he definitely is filled out. What did everyone think of the Indigenous game? Did you enjoy it? I thought it was a good game. My issue was it was the week of practice. Oh, thank you, Noah, mate. Hyperfire, I appreciate both of you. Thank you very much. Best ever. That's very huge compliment. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. So a bit of a disappointing start for Richmond. Just that little switch off and the free kick. Just a bit of discipline, but Nick Dacos bursts through, gets the give and go. And Majacek doing what he always does, leading up the ground. Delivery in. Hits the deck. Oh, Schultz unlucky not to get the free there, maybe. And Taranto wraps Bobby Hill up. I'm a Carlton fan, mate. Should have been All-Stars versus Globetrotters. It would have been nice if they'd done like an Indigenous team versus everyone. Under a lot of pressure early doors, Richmond. I've got to say, even though they conceded the goal with the free, Richmond been under a little bit of pressure for 3 minutes. Aside from that free kick, which you've seen not given, has structurally been all right. Having said that, Collingwood build a handball chain. The big Gregor Owen. And a great mark by Majacek. Did well. Blighty there. Just beaten in the air there. Majacek's deceptive, isn't he, as well? You support Collingwood. You're under a bit of cosh at the minute, Tiger Time. That's just a bit of lack of experience there. Majacek is so irritating as well. He always seems to take them grabs. Very good, underrated player is Majacek. Shot in front. They just got to get their hands on the ball, though, haven't they? I support Carlton, mate. Hey, JD. Stick with it, mate. It's going to be a tough lesson. I mean, feels very, like, look there, lack of movement. Look, see from that stoppage there. No one's moved back behind the ball. They've just stood there and watched that. And Blighty there. Not much you can do. I mean, how often do you see this? Nick Dacos out the back of a stoppage just with a big up and under. And he managed to isolate. Bad start. So here's the bounce then. You know what I don't like from the Tigers at the minute? All 3 centre bounces, they've really flooded the defence side. So, like, if you do win the tap like Nankervis did, there's no one there. So Josh Dacos might get done for kicking deliberate here. And he has. Sonia starting the banter early. Good day, darling. How you doing? All right, baggers, mate. Enjoy, mate. Enjoy dinner. What's for dinner? You're probably gone, so I won't know. So it goes down the line. No one at the front of that contest, though, for Richmond. And Collingwood come away with it. Brown did very well. Great give and go. Richmond here got options aplenty. Don't know why Hopper turned into trouble. Short. Launches it inside 50. This is where you wish there was a little bit of dusting action. Oh, good pressure from Richmond. Ah. It's behind. It deserves a goal, but good little bit of pressure that from Richmond. Good bit of football. I really like Tiger Time. What are you thinking? Richmond, Brown halfback. I really like his read of the ball. Collingwood, though, as soon as they get this kicking game, you know, from those who watch the Carlton GWS game, this is what kills me. See there, all of them kicks in that passage of play, they haven't had to deviate their run. They've just been to targets. And bundled over the line, Nick Vlastin. Thanks, Sonia. It's good to be back. Some say I never left. Scotty, it's way too early, mate. 40 minutes 50 to go in the first. It's too easy there. It goes through to Tim Membry with a classic opportunist goal, but bit of brain fades from Richmond early doors. Like, it's either good or chaotic, but again, look, flooding the defensive side. It comes out the attacking side for Richmond, and there's just numbers everywhere. It's almost like there's 4 men on the field for every one. And how Membry has managed to get in between 3 defenders, God only knows. But Membry looks like a Collingwood player with them tats, doesn't he? Never looked like a St Kilda player. So good start for the Pies. Richmond will be disappointing. Albert, it's tough on them. I would like to see him. I'd like to see Uze, Tiger Time. What do you think? Like, be a bit more aggressive from these stoppages and contests. Like, back yourself to win the ball. At the moment, it feels like they're trying not to hemorrhage it, which is causing space. Collingwood loves space. Like, look, again, no one at the attacking side, and Pendlebury has all the time in the world. And that's good for Blight. Blight needed that. I agree, Tiger Time. Hey, he looks like a Pie player. Good for Blighty, though. He needed that mark after being beaten by Majacek, I think, in quite a weak effort. That's it. So Richmond just need to slow it down, get their hands on the ball. They go to the half-back flank. It's a great kick. McIntosh got time. They hit the corridor. This is nice and patient, this. Runner comes inbound, Vlastin. You don't want to play a give and go with Nankervis. He bombs it in, though, and there's the mark. G'day, Anthony. And that's fantastic for Richmond. Richmond really needed that. And that was a good little passage of play as well from Richmond, just quietly. Real patient from down the back. Then they looked inboard, got the running game going. Nankervis involved in the running game, which you probably don't expect to see. And Jacob Bower, usually a steady kick for goal. He is, from my time watching him. So this should be 6 points. Hey, I agree, Pasquale. And there it is. I nearly gave him the scoreboard curse, but good goal. You know what I've noticed there, and I used to say this about Carlton in 2018, I'm a big fan of creating energy. That's a very mediocre celebration. Like, get a bit of energy going. But this was a good passage of play, this. Do you know what I mean? Vlastin there. I don't think through. I don't think wanted Nankervis there, but good delivery. You know, Nankervis, just deceptively, a good deliverer of the football for a big lad. And Jacob, straight as a rock. Oh, Scotty, mate, transition football, bro. You know what we're like with halfbacks against us. So Richmond go again. Can I just say, number 4 has had 2 bounces and they have both been shithouse. So Samson Ryan wins the holding free kick. You know, the best way I could describe Samson Ryan is any 1920s American movie involving a farm. He looks like the senior farmhand. And here we are. We're seeing that zip off the back line. Nick Dacos plays the give and go. They spread it to the right. But McCreary is just a menace. He had no right to create a stoppage there, and he does. That was very quick, though. That was into the forward half. Very enlightening. You've got to watch that. Again, no on the attacking side, and Richmond won the ball. Richmond having a scrap here, and they do well to get it out to their halfbacks. Short only can fling a boot on it. Oh, go on. Foot race. Campbell's got a full canter. Can't quite get there. Mate, spot. Tiger time. To be fair, Nick Dacos and Josh Dacos, when they get their running game going, they're a handful for most sides, so. Taranto, I'm not too sure that's the play from Taranto there. You know what I'd like to see Taranto do, and he's done it twice. He's taken possession, paddle it forward to where his men are. Thank you, Ryan, mate. Good to see you. How you doing? So a couple of repeat stoppages here, deep in the forward half for Richmond. A nice intercept grab as well. So Richmond look to reset again. Put up on the goal square. And that's a behind. Tigers have done well, I think. In the last 5 minutes, they've managed to just negate it a little bit. I mean, winning the inside 50 count, which might be a surprise. But Collingwood build patiently down the left-hand side. Quaino receives the ball from Josh. Look at that run-on from Josh. He's got all the way to the wing. G'day, Matt. And Samson Ryan comes in from nowhere with the karate chop spoil. You know what? I don't mind Samson Ryan, and I might have put the kibosh on him. I don't even mind him. They've done very well, Pasquale. This is what they'll do in round one as well. They'll want to negate and stem the movement. Camden McIntosh does very well, but no one there to support him. Taranto's been in everything, right? Controversial. G'day, Fire and Ice. How are you? Tiger Tam, I'd love to know your opinion as a Richmond fan and everyone else in chat. I feel like Taranto gets a lot of the ball, but doesn't really dictate play. Do you know what I mean? So Richmond again, look for this patient build-up now. They've taken a bit of time off. Taranto, he's managed, since joining Richmond, he's had 2 lovely leg tats done. Good tackle. Tell you what, they've done pretty well with Nick Dacos to not keep him too loose, I think. Yeah, I agree. I just feel like he needs to add that layer, do you know what I mean? As a senior figure now, like, have control the game. Richmond on the overlap here, great work. And here we are. This is it, big time football. Excellent work there from the mids. Brown has been a standout already. Great work from Tommy Brown, and here we are. Shot at goal here. So the best name in football history, Steely Green. Dragged left. It's behind. Nice spread. Gone almost to a vintage one-on-one. Kicking defence there from Richmond, which really has slowed them down. That's good coaching, that. They were playing the zone opening 10. Gone to a more traditional man-on-man kicking defence and pressure under the kick. And well done, Richmond. They forced the turnover. Couldn't get the handball away. Could argue in the back. Richmond still on chance here. Maurice Rioli. Oh! Great pressure. Honestly, that's a very good tactical shift. That shift to a kicking defence, stifling them. But again, quick ball use. The Dacos brothers combining, and Bobby Hill with all that. That is a killer. Did not deserve that. Maurice Rioli looked for the outlet just inside 50 with the handball. Uncooked it. And Dan Houston gets the offload. And he's got his first goal in Maggie colours, 24, plays 9. That's heartbreaking for Richmond. The second goal was well from a mark. And Maurice Rioli just misses the handball, and within a blink of an eye, it's Dacos, bang. What an effort. And look at this here again. Maurice Rioli tries to do the right thing, but Nick Dacos sharks it, and then Pendlebury back to Nick Dacos. The overlap runs crazy. He gives it to his brother Josh, and straight out in front, game over. And it's another goal as well, where they've taken the eye off the ball, they've offloaded it from the kick. 24-9, and that's coast-to-coast football. Great football by Collingwood. Stiff from Richmond, though. Richmond will look at the Tiger time, though. The shift to the more of a traditional man-on-man versus a zonal defence in the kick-in. Great coaching, though. I like that for you. But again, it goes back on the attacking side for Richmond in this corner. And Quainob delivers it. Oh, and Jamie Elliott couldn't hold it. Hoskin Elliott, though, out the back, Bo McQuarrie. And when the wheels fall off, the wheels fall off. Lou, spot on, mate. Have you noticed Collingwood, when they exit, though, they play that give and go? Bluto, Man United, mate. Lou, have you seen? It's that give and go. It's that short kick that we use, but then it's running on. Look at the overlap run that Collingwood have got there. They're trying, like, you watch Josh Dacos and Dan Houston as well. When they get rid of the ball, they're already running up to the wing. They're waiting for the next kick. They're already planning to be there for the next kick. Incredible running. And Membry with another goal. He's got 2. Matt, I am of the belief it should be 2. I'm with you. He's suspended, but I am of the belief too. Like, I agree it's harsh, but I can also understand from... I'm Blues in the AFL. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Tim Membry. Yeah, the thing is as well, if you notice when Sard does them dinky 50-metre kicks, if you watch Collingwood, they overlap and they're waiting for the second one. Sard just stays back at halfback. Maurice Rioli with a free kick, offloads it, delivered deep. Oh, how's Samson not marked that? Nankervis cleans it up. Samson, honestly, someone's cut his hair. Oh! Oh, blue towel, mate. It gets worse. I hope he does, Amarin. You know what's impressed me, though, Tiger Time? The heads aren't bowing. Free kick play on Hoskin Elliott to Bo McQuarrie. Oh, Bobby with a good header. And Blight mops it up just. Kicks himself into trouble, though. McQuarrie's an animal. I agree, Blue Towel. That's what a proper coach does as well. Play your system, let the staff know players aren't fit for purpose. So I'm willing to take my medicine. Man United should have done it a long time ago, taken the medicine, not tried to buy their way out of it. And McStay with the overhead kick that would rival Garnacho versus Everton. And that again, the 4 of the 6 goals shouldn't happen. Shouldn't happen, in my opinion. I love that blue towel, mate. You know what? He's another one who I think is getting under the cosh. They haven't spent enough. Hey, blue towel, mate, it's addictive. I've been doing it for 10 years, mate. So you kind of get used to it after a while. There's something beautiful about getting up at 3 in the morning to go to bed at 5, depressed. You just can't get from any other sport. So again, they really do keeping this attacking side. And that's another time Nankervis has won. And he's got the free kick this time. Taran, handballs it off. Intercept mark by Darcy. Can I just say, Samson Ryan... Johnny Samson Ryan, like, for a big guy, has to be the worst mark I've ever seen. Hey, Scotty, mate. The pom is going to be always here. Oh, Blue Tar, I mean, once Ange has been there, I don't think they've looked after him enough. I think they've really, really embarrassed it, to be honest. But that's what Levy does. So Josh there, getting a little bit of the old rub. I was going to say something else. The old rub down there. Richmond, I think, need to be a lot more aggressive. A lot more aggressive, particularly in them glitch areas. It's a bad kick and ushered off the ball. Rioli, great one-hand pick up. He's got time. Steadies. Was that touched? Some of them. Some of them. Con, I'd wipe him out for the year, mate. Richmond having a little bit of a spurt. It's a 12-month injury unless you're Zlatan, and then you can play without an ACL. Oof. Tell you what, Richmond making a bit of a fight back here. I'm doing watch-alongs. You've got this game, Carlton's game, and then we've got North Melbourne Eagles, and we've got a special guest for that. He has been good, Spence. He's really grown into it. Yeah, it's one of them, though, isn't it? Tiger time. I don't think it's as bad as I thought it was. But, yeah, left back. We've got... Everyone plays right back in England. No left footers back home. Hey, James, how you doing, mate? Have a guess who we've got as a special guest for the North Melbourne game. I've gone big. Who would the Nottingham Forest be of this? Who would the Nottingham Forest of the AFL be? Incredibly good. Like a real historic history, but for 40 years, no one's ever heard of them. Kanga TV, hey, you're good. Crows Neladan, that's probably a good shout, actually. Yeah, that is a very good shout. Great kick. Great kick. Great football there by Richmond again. I'm looking forward to it, Craig. I'm very well, mate. How are you? And you know what? If anyone deserves a goal on the Richmond list as well, just from this game thus far, you would say that he would be quite high up the pecking order, to be honest. Ryan Mansell's worked very hard. Good football, Richmond, there. I think Richmond win the spoon. Sonia, what are your thoughts? Bit too much draw on that one, but good little fight back from Richmond. 1 goal, 7. So he's showing that if you can slow Collingwood down, one weakness here is if you can slow them down and take away that drive off halfback, you'll create opportunities. You'll get yourself the opportunities. But like is often is the case with Collingwood, their second and third efforts, stop it. Chris drives them out off the back line. Side bottom to the wing. And it's so easy when they open up. Bobby Hill works really hard, goes back inside. Nick Dacos. James, it hurts, doesn't it? So a bit of work to do here. Well done. Vlasting's got to do that. Fred, I think Dan Houston's a huge acquisition. They go through the corridor here and... Oh, just couldn't get the ball under control. Collingwood, as usual, set up well. Nankervis on Bobby Hill. Probably not the matchup you want, but it does work for him. They work it up to the right wing. Campbell finds Taranto. This is good football. Good patient build-up. It looks weird. Back into the corridor. Delivers it inside 50. Samson did everything right, but look at the ball when he ushered it out. Lipinski under a bit of trouble. Dan Houston buys himself time with a wonderful turn and clears the lines. Why are they playing at Icon? I know Vic Park is having a bit of work. Is there a reason, though? Yeah, Eagles. I don't mind Eagles' forward line, though. I think they'll beat teams at Optus. I just feel Richmond are going to come unstuck because all of their games are at the G, where all the teams play. Richmond again have the numbers here. Oh, you see, that's where you need a little bit of calmness from Taranto. Chance to rebuild, though. Nathan Brody, usually a good little user of the ball. Goes back inboard. That's good football. Jaden Shaw, he's probably got the power to put this up on the goal square. He does. Good lead. Tell you what, if Samson Ryan could mark, Tigers could probably have 6 goals. It's a bit disappointing, though, isn't it? There, like, be interesting to see if like Tom Lynch was available. He'd probably clunk 2 of these marks. Camden McIntosh, that reliability there. Nankervis straight out the back of the stoppage. Jacob just runs under it. You know what? I'd like to see a little bit of Harry Armstrong on ASAP Rocky. I agree, Tiger Time. Good football by them. Jeff, g'day, mate. How you doing? So there's the switch again. They're going to attack the right-hand side now. Quaynor, beautifully delivered kick. Collingwood made that look so easy. Lipinski. Look, they're running on again. Always running on. Good to see. Tom Brown has probably been, in my opinion, close to Richmond's best player in the opening quarter. Good flurry, though, by Richmond towards the end. They haven't got anything to show for it, but hasn't been as one-way traffic as the scoreboard suggests. Sidebomb nearly has his pants pulled down. Cam McIntosh buys himself time. Short. The clock should run out here. Bauer wanting to get in the papers tomorrow morning. And that is the quarter. So 36-13. A lot to take out of that game. Collingwood, when in transition, look unbeatable, to be fair. But Richmond have had their opportunity. Some really good intercepts as well in that game from Richmond. They were quite game, it has to be said, throughout that quarter. And they kind of built into it. It started off, it looked like this could be the worst day you've ever seen. As Collingwood there have a guy who looks like your standard German football coach holding the board. Interesting to see. But impressed with Tom Brown. G'day, Lana. Favourite for Europa? Oh. That's going to be a tough one. I'd like to say that we're a chance, to be honest. I reckon Roma win it. Bit of sibling rivalry, I like that. Hey, Pasquale, I don't want to see a wooden spoon at the Blues for a long freaking time, mate. I tell you. I've seen a few. Tiger, I mean, that's going to be the thing. Your first game against West Coast, that was very similar as well, wasn't it? You were game for a half and then the legs kind of went. Beachy, how are you, my mate? Second favourite cricketer is Beachy. Collingwood slingshot off the back half, though. Looks really bad. My father-in-law, Blue Towel. Just think, I came over here with a fresh start. Hey, Robert, how you doing, mate? Blue Towel, I'm glad I came. I mean, I had a fresh start. I could have supported anyone. Knew Man United were starting to go on the slide. Do you know what I mean? And I chose County. Do you know what I mean? No loyalties to anyone. I could have just gone with anyone. This was a chance. So you can't say that I don't love the club, do you know what I mean? Because I think your first 12 months, you've got like a hall pass that you can change teams. I'd allow that in the UK for someone who was foreign. So here I am. How you doing, Robert? Anyway, mate, you good? Who are we supporting, Robert? He did suck me in, mate. Hey, I mean, hopefully it'll pay off. Like, I'll take a flag. I'm at that stage now where I'll take a flag, even if it's one flag, and then just a couple of years of finals. Cheers, Pasquale. Hey, Blue Towel, mate. You've done a reverse me. You're suffering in one spot, and then you've chosen another team that is hard to watch. I respect that, mate. You could have literally supported anyone. You had the data available. I love it. I really respect that. You know, it's funny. A good mate of mine. Do you know what I mean? A good mate of mine. He's just started watching English football because of me, and he's been drawn to West Ham. And I tried to talk him out of it because his football team is Saints. And I tried to talk him out of it. I was like, I appreciate you like them, but bro, I'm telling you. But fair play, he's having fun. I respect it. Like, he's mad about it, getting up at 3 in the morning. It makes me laugh. Makes me laugh because he was impartial for like a whole year last year. And then like West Ham, they lost Rice. Because they lost Rice, he was drawn to that story. Did some history research about fan base, being together, them against the world. I was like, mate, well done. You know, controversial call, right? Hey, Pete, I agree, mate. You're Liverpool, though. They're going to win the title, so it would be huge for us to win it. It's going to be very huge for you, mate, in a few weeks. Pies. Oh, I love that, Robert. Mate, going well. Slingshot off the back half with Houston and the Dacos boys. Good to watch. Does anyone else think AFL, they've sold all this TV revenue, right? Do you not think, I've got an idea, you know the KO and they're trying to charge more money. Would you pay, so KO's what, $35, isn't it now? Right? I would be willing to pay $45 for their version of like YouTube Premium with no ads. I would happily pay 10 more, and then in the intermissions, we get football. We get like some analysis or just anything that's not paddleball. Lana, tell you what, chat, tell me your sports teams, like all your sports teams. We'll see who's done the worst at choosing. Sidebottom has been good, Digsby. He always is a hard grafter, though, isn't he? Reef, he hasn't been bad, to be fair, has he? It's definitely a lot, but I would be happy to pay more for a bit less. Do you know what I mean? Richmond, Renegades, Storm. Storm's good. Yeah, I agree, Lachlan. Like, I would pay a lot of money. Like, I'd be happy to pay $10 more, maybe even 15, if you gave me no ads. But the question about Reef, he's been all right. He's playing more of a deeper role, so he's been really blocking people getting to the contest. Carlton and St. George. Ooh, Caden, does see many George fans. Hey, Bo, love you, mate. Scotty, you know what I'd like to see? Crowd noise. Like, press a button for crowd noise. So you had no commentary. Cheers, Rob. Carlton, Jack Jumpers, Hurricanes, Sharks. You've done pretty well there. Do you know what I mean? You've got some real good heartland teams there as well. Like real good supporter bases. Melbourne City, that's good. Carlton, good. Melbourne Storm, Renegades, West Ham and Dallas Cowboys. Scotty, nice and simple, mate. Do you get into any other sports though, Scotty? Like boxing or anything like that? So Richmond win the free kick. Hey, Blue Toe, you done well there. Collingwood have this incredible habit of just mopping it up. Bit of work to do here. Some good running from Richmond. Bauer just couldn't quite get there. The kick was too short. This might be holding the ball. Oof. Oklahoma, they've been going all right. Yeah, it's always funny, isn't it? Like, I always say I'm probably the worst at picking sports teams, man. Hey, Nella, you got a nice variety there. Great intercept mark by Quainer. Stood tall there. He takes off. Morris nearly catches him, though. Sean's the kick, but again, this running game out the back half has really been an issue. And again, Crisp has ran ahead. And it just shows you how easy it is. But they've overcooked the kick. But that running game is becoming a problem. Melbourne Stars, I'm a Stars man as well, Peach. The Stars are very Carlton, aren't they? Don't you think? Like, start a year bad, then they go on a winning streak just to make it and then disappoint you in finals. It's very Carlton-y. So good little passage of play here by Richmond. They go out the back of the stoppage this time. Kick is way too shallow, but made a meal of it, Collingwood did, and they go straight through the corridor. Overlap run, there's two players out open. It's a great kick as well. And Collingwood are going to get a chance. Yeah, but I think Reef McInnes has done the right thing. He's just blocked that run. Blocked that run, Digsby. Great bit of football there by them. By Richmond. And all set up for them here. So Steely Green, he brings in a wonderful little ball. And Bauer has got a chance for another. Brian, I think they'll be in and around the end. 8. Warrigal. And there's the goal. Excellent work again by Richmond. They've done incredibly well. Good effort from them. Yeah, they've kind of, I'd say the way that I would describe Collingwood is they've coasted. But that's really good football. I really enjoy... Is Jed Lamb at Warrigal? That's epic. You know what I have really enjoyed, though, by Richmond is their willingness to go through the corridor. Like, when they get the ball, their willingness to attack through that corridor, take the dangerous kick on. And here we are, Nick Dacos again. You've seen that quite a lot, the tap. And it feels like there's another gear to go for Collingwood. I'd still have to work, Blue Towel. I'd still have to work. We do this for the love, Blue Towel. This is for the love. Great switch from Richmond. They've got, if he comes under control, upside down handball. Vlostin, though, mobs it up. It's a great... it's just a bit too hard for Steely. But they get the out of bounds. It's $50 for Golf Sim. Where's that? Is that X-Golf? Depends how much you... What is that for, like, unlimited sessions? Don't they do, like, an out grid? Worried about your old list? I think you've shown, though, that your ability to play football is still there. So Collingwood again they build a bit slowly this time. They go down the right, come back down the left. And Majocek, you've seen that a lot, goes... Membry acts almost like a fake mark. Hey, Blue, it'd be nice. I mean, but, mate, I'm happy. I'm always happy, mate. As long as I've got me Alf in my family, I'm happy. So it's been quite an intriguing game, this. Like, I don't want to downplay what the Tigers are doing, but I feel like Collingwood have really taken it off the gas. And I'm waiting for... Almost feels like I'm waiting for them to show me something. Because Richmond have probably had the best of the last 10 minutes. That change, though, to that man-on-man kicking defence has really stagnated Collingwood. So Richmond a chance again. They set it up on the wing. Tim Taranto's got a bit of work to do, which he does well. He assesses his options. Collingwood flooding back there. Maurice Rioli against Darcy Moore, and Darcy Moore takes off. Dacos to Pendlebury, and it's way too easy. When they transition the football, at times Richmond look as 6s and 7s, but it's a shocking kick inside 50. Goes out for a behind. You know what? It would be interesting if Richmond kicked the next two. Just ask that question. So Broad, great mark by Samson Ryan. Hey, Blue Tar, we're going to really mix it up. We're going to try and aim for 2 to 3 games a week, mate. So we'll try and do as many teams as possible. Oh, Nankervis has dropped an absolute dolly. And he's wrapped up straight away. And he's got a lucky there. High free kick, which I think the umpire might be high there calling that. But Richmond here, chance to make pay. Brings it inside 15. Maurice Rioli has been threatening. Yeah, we're going to try and we're definitely going to be doing a preview of a feature game and a review as well. And we'll do a watch along. So we'll definitely churn them out, mate. Because I do this all the time anyway. Last year, I was just really lazy with my content, I think. But I watch every game so I can learn for the previews when my team play them. So I figured I'll bring you guys and girls with me for the ride. Collingwood again, beautiful play down the right. Loose kick, and bit of a stiff free kick, that one. Stiff free kick. do like Markov's new beard, though. He looks very, very bohemian. Collingwood slow it down. Josh Dacos takes off, runs around the mark. They are, can I just say, supporting a football team that has the kicking skills of Michael J. Fox wearing a hot cup of coffee, making a hot cup of coffee, shaky at the best of times, seeing good kicking makes me sick. But that was beautiful by Josh. I have been watching the TGL. I'm a real big fan of that TGL. Really big fan. Richmond they've been game, Robert. But I will say, when Collingwood go into that gear like they did then, you can see the level. I feel like if this was like a finals intensity game, with all due respect to the Tigers, I reckon it could be a bigger score. It was a little easy, yeah. It feels like all their goals have been very easy. I don't think Richmond have had to work incredibly hard for their 9 scoring opportunities. Where I feel like the 8 scoring opportunities the Pies have had, I don't think they've gone out of gear 2 to get them. And that's no offence to them. Absolute criminal handball that was, and it's worked. Gets it behind. Tell you what, bit more of that. A bit. It does feel like that. Yes, it feels like the Mason Cox game. Good bit of football that though from Richmond. Went very direct from stoppage, and it caught Collingwood napping, and they've managed to gain the intercept. Quite a few intercepts from Richmond, quite deep. It's good to see that. Oh, what is Nankervis doing there? Nankervis stops the mark. Worked very hard to mop it up. Kick inside 50. Oh! That is football. An absolute dynamite mark there. Absolutely. The ball comes in and Ryan Mansell rides the back there. Hands out in front. Looking like Jonty Rhodes fielding at mid-on. Good football. Hey, cheers, Blue Town, mate. Good luck. Have a good day. Great to see you. Hey, mate. Nankervis, I'm not too sure why he got involved, but it worked out. And Richmond definitely deserve that. Yeah, I agree, Beachy. Definitely deserve that. Definitely deserve that goal. Bit of hard work. I'm really impressed by their forward pressure. They've really done it. He's been very quiet, hasn't he, Jamie Elliott? Absolutely fantastic lead. And you know what? The work off the ball there is absolutely phenomenal. You know what? For a young lad there, let's just highlight Steely Green there. Blocking him in that contest, tying him up, setting him up for that ride. Great football there. So 43 plays 26, and we did say the next 2 goals could be funny. Richmond now starting to find a little bit of synergy, a bit of confidence. McInnes and Moore have been down back, and up top it's Membry and Majacek. Power. In my heart of hearts watching it, when Collingwood have gone through the motions, they have been very good from the back half of the ground, their transition. But at the moment, it's a bit of the pressure's getting to... The intensity has gone up from Richmond. I just don't think it's been matched by Collingwood yet. But when Collingwood have gone through the motions, they've transitioned and slingshot very easy. Hello, Mrs. Pam. What is that?
That would go on.
Thompson down with a shot at going away free kick. Oh! So 10 minutes to go. I think the Tigers have been, Parwan, I think Tigers have been better than what we thought. Cameron, mate, Darcy Cameron. I feel like they've been better than we thought. Definitely Richmond. The first 5 minutes, it felt like this game could be Carlton versus Brisbane in a final, but good adjustment. The switch from zonal to man-on-man kicking defence has changed this game. It's made it a lot good. So Collingwood are having to work this out. It's a bit like the first quarter versus Brisbane. It's like the first quarter against Brisbane that Collingwood played, where it just feels like it's not cohesive. I agree, Lachlan. Maybe I'm miserable. I don't like the round zero. I think the fact that it takes 6 rounds for everyone to play the same amount of games is horrendous. Tell you what, again, good pressure, but the handball kick game, and it has been the story of Collingwood's game since probably the 10-minute mark. That last kick inside 50 has always been atrocious, but getting there has been easy. And Richmond again mop up, and they've been very good in this second quarter at building from here. And Samson Ryan, since being moved out of the forward line, has been insane up that wing. Yeah, I mean, my big reservation about round zero, is legit the fact that the ladder is discombobulated to round 6. Soft spot for Spurs. Being a Pom, I don't have a soft spot for any of the English teams, but I admit I enjoy watching Spurs. Good pressure here by Collingwood. Richmond struggle. Josh Dacos, again, Membry has done this quite a bit, found a way to just get himself free, but as Tiger Time says, disgusting. Hey there, baggers. Can I also put out there, I don't like, as Richmond tidy it up, I don't like... I'd get Ian from the Navy Blue Corner, real good lad. My favourite, like one of my favourite things to listen to is Ian. And Collingwood get a free kick. You could argue unrealistic attempt. They're saying that he was blocked towards the ball. And Majacek is going to have a shot right in front. Anyone else think as well? I don't like the grand final replay. Tell him Pom sent you. Say Pom said you had to say yes. Can I just say, I don't like the grand final replay at all. In a professional sport, I think it's ridiculous, in my honest opinion. I don't know who asked for it, who wants to see it. I don't get who asked for that. And you know what annoyed me was when Gil mentioned it, he talked about the Charity Shield, the Community Shield in the UK. But that's a Mickey Mouse pre-season cup that no one cares about. That is between the champions and the FA Cup winners. So if that was like the first game of the pre-season, you know, like we had the Indigenous game, if they said we'll have a flagship game in a practice game, okay. Why? Like, my question is why? And it's like gather round all in Adelaide. Why the first time did we do it, did Port and Adelaide each get a home game? Play the derby there? Like, it just feels like sometimes the AFL does stuff that no one cares about. He does. Parwan, you know what? Him and Membry have really enjoyed it. Oh, I mean, like, you know, the replay of the final for round 0. Hey, Baggers Podcast, I love that, mate. And it's going to be a 50 and a free kick for Richmond. And this should be a goal. Yeah, what do you guys and girls think? I'm like, do you really want to see the grand final rematch, round 0? Danger game. Hey, I'd never block my mate Ryan. I like Ryan. But there we are. Good football. And you know what? They deserve. They deserve not to get blown away. But Jack Ross, he's been tireless. Honestly, Ryan Brooks, like, mate, I just don't see... Like, for me, I would open the practice games with the granny rematch. I just... It doesn't do it for me. Like, I just don't think anyone asks for it. I mean, I could be wrong. I just... Like, I've seen Sydney-Brisbane once. Like, I think if you said to me, we had an Indigenous All-Stars game versus, like, a select or something, and then we had the grand final rematch. You know, that would be a good game. The Indigenous All-Stars versus the flag winners as an opening for a practice game. I could get behind that. And here we are. Collingwood again go through the corridor. Handball chains. Nick Dacos runs all the way at the last minute. He handballs and Harry Perryman has his goal. The goal umpire looks like he's holding back, popping off during a date. And great goal. And this is what we have seen all game. When Collingwood go through their momentum, go through their gears, it looks easy. They've been accurate. It's getting it there. But again, starts off the back half. Pendlebury loops around and then Dacos just goes straight through them. One bounce. Handball off to Perryman, who's done very well. He's ran a long way to keep up with him. Good goal. I agree, Jeff. Which players? You know what? I'm really, really, really hot this year on Elijah Hollands. I just think he's going to be really big. Sundal, I agree. I don't get why we have it. Like, you know, gather round would make sense if they said we were doing it in Tasmania for 4 weeks, 4 years, to try and build up the excitement. Shane, TDK, it'd be interesting if they do. I think they'll have to play him, mate. Yeah, just brings a bit of breeze in, babe. Collingwood again build from the half-back line. Lipinski goes back into Dan Houston, who has been very lively the last 20 minutes. Good mark. Hoskin Elliott bodied him there. Yeah, if he was in Tasmania, All-Stars versus Ireland would be sexy as well. Can I just say, from when Blight got beat very early doors by... When Blight got beat very early doors by Majocek, I think he's done incredibly well, Blight, he has. Cowden Cooper Lord, I think Cooper Lord will have a huge year. Brisbane will win the Premiership 2025. Don't mind that shout. They'll be up there. I don't mind that shout by you, Scotty. Whatever happened to that round? Do you remember when, like, community round used to be a thing? Richmond again playing themselves into trouble, and it's that man again, Bo McCreary. And probably one of the most underrated players in the league, I think Bo is. But Bo delivers it inside 50. And McStay, I think he may have pushed Blight there. But he's got given the mark, and it's, again, Collingwood's midfield ability to turn the ball over has been very good. Scotty, I don't mind that. Do you remember when community round, like, they used to do it? I think you'll see the legs go made in Australia. But Collingwood, again, I've just given that to blooming Richmond. like a buffoon. 61-33, and this is what we've been saying. Like, as hard as Richmond have been in this game, Collingwood have just found them areas. Good football. It's actually been quite an enjoyable game, this, for a practice game. I feel like we're getting quite a lot out of it. I don't think Richmond are as bad as we think. I think you've got to beat them. They've shown that they're quite dangerous on that intercept. So you've got to make sure you do the things. Super duper. It's got to be cola on it. All day. Honestly, number 4 might be the worst bouncer of a ball. Tiger time spot on. Like, they're dead in front of goal, aren't they? They're either perfect or it's a shallow entry. It's a funny thing when you watch. It's just that last kick kills them and it's an intercept. They go through the corridor again and they look to build. Oh. Tell you what, Dan Houston, Quaynor and Josh Dacos off that half-back line. And it's happened again. See, that last kick inside is bad. Hey, Scotty, how relaxing is it? Hey, Ben, that number 4 has been doing it all game as well. Like, honestly, proper cooked. I reckon potentially the worst tosser of a coin ever. Side bottom sneaks out the back. Where are you, Digsby? Your boys kicked a snag. That was way too easy. Side bottom lost them in that contest there. He's got to be about 75, hasn't he, Steel side bottom now? Who do you support made in Australia? Who's your team? Tiger time. I feel like I'm living 2018 Carlton, but you can see they're starting to go. Hey, Ryan Brooks, I am telling you, that is the best, one of the best ideas I've ever had. I think it'd be grouse. You know what? Now you've said it, I see where you're going, Scotty. I reckon, yeah, if you put a toupee on him, I can see it. Hey, I love that made in Australia. Tell you what, I was really impressed with your forward line structure and just how easy Ty Gallop had it. Richmond again with the transition football. Taranto with an absolute dart into the forward half of the ground. And it's my boy, Harry Armstrong, chat. I said get him out of the forward line and bring Harry Armstrong in. Hey, Baggers Podcast, definitely, mate. I'll definitely be in touch. Here we are, Harry Armstrong, my boy. I reckon he kicks this. Nice action, though. Just a bit of a push. Here we are, Darcy again. They go into this pocket. This is what's really interesting. But again, they've switched to the man on and playing the extra here, just in case they do that short give and go. He's causing them to go long. Stupid free kick to give away. It's really relieved the pressure. And Collingwood now, Majacek halfway line. Easy. I'm a big fan of Jasper. Real nippy, live wire type player. I reckon they've got like 2 Seth Campbells there with Jasper. He's a little thug as well. Little thug, but real nippy player. Nick Dacos has done that so many times, like just got into the ruck contest after it's been contested and done that. Tell you what, Richmond will look at this and they'll see if this was a real season game, which is not, but you add 30 points to this from 5 shocking misses. But now it's weird. Some of the older players, you've seen Brody give away a free. As Majocek kicks that as this, it's not spoiled. It's a goal. But you can see now where it's coming unstuck. It was Broad who gave away the free kick early for the Vlosten, who gave the mark for the unrealistic attempt. They had a stupid free kick to give away there. And Collingwood make hay. And that's probably going to be a case. Hey, cheers, mate, in Australia. I think that's probably going to be the case of Richmond's season. And it's surprising the brain farts are coming from the senior players. Like, that really needs spoiling there. Everyone's gone up to try and mark it. And Majocek's the beneficiary. And there it is. Age versus experience. But it would be an interesting game. Yeah, thanks, Baggers Podcast. You got me back on point. If this was like 50% of that more they kicked, it would make a very interesting conversation because they could have done. But I will say this. Collingwood, when they've gone through the gears, been all right. Bobby hit, not Nick Dacos, getting involved in the tackles here. Side bottom cleans up from 2 over no-look handballs. And McStay should have marked that. He absolutely destroyed Ben Miller and Jaden Short bobs it out to his mate. They calm it down. Enjoy Pasquale, mate. What are you watching before you go? Umpire's called not 15, and I would say that just about every kick inside D50 hasn't been inside 15. Dan Houston takes the mark right outside 55, and is he going to line up and hit a big top? Coward. Oh, that's way too easy there. And Collingwood have done a great job of doing that. We've seen that quite a few times. Cheeky no-look handball to Bobby Hill. Everyone's switched off. And Collingwood going through the gears. And you know what? It's quite sad to see. Side bottom has. Digsby. Gave you a shout out when he kicked his goal, mate. And it's sad for Tiger Time. You know what? Just shows you. Has McStay had much time in the ruck? Your ruck, well, I'll tell you what, he's been doing a lot of it solo, has Darcy. McStay's probably had about 6 or 7 stoppages and 1 centre bounce from memory. Let's check. 2 hit outs and 1 centre clearance, so I'm not far off. Honeymoon Crasher. Hey, never seen it. James, we should do. Bag, I'm with you. And it seems so random. Nice centre clearance win. Take care, mate. Enjoy. And again, they build off the half-back line. Seal side bottom gets the handball from the Dacos boys. A wobbler. Vlosten's done well to deal with it. Nice little clean hands here. Tell you what, Richmond, when they've got their handball game, be nice. Hey, Lachlan. Weird, wasn't it, as well? The old Heidi. The old Givey. Reminds me that of playing rugby and you'd give the prop forward an easy try in front of the goalpost after bursting through. As I knew what you meant, Lockie. When you burst through the line, you burst through, you beat the full-back. I don't think Richmond have been shocking. Hey, great to see you, Colin. I don't think they've been shocking. I think they'll definitely get minimum 2 wins. Siren goes and 34-79. Really, really good. I mean, the tale of the game really is when Collingwood have gone through the gears, they've been the better side. Back half, for me, Collingwood, is a problem. Like, they are dangerous. That handball game, or whether they've kicked, once it hits the corridor, it's game over. Richmond, I enjoyed it. I think they were beaten up in the first, and then they came back. And now the legs are starting to go and the space opening up. And a few brain fades from their senior players. Vlastin doing a stupid specky attempt. Nankervis giving a free kick away outside of the 50. But their young goods have stepped up. So, I mean, I'd say at the moment, the best on ground. Nick Dacos would be up there. I think Tim Membry and Houston have been very impressive. But I've got to say, shout out, in my opinion, to I've really enjoyed Jack Ross's game, and I've really enjoyed Brown's game as well. And I've loved Jacob Blight. He got beat early doors, but he really has stuck to his guns and kept fighting. And that's the kind of stuff that develops you. I don't know what you think, Tiger Time, but that's what develops you. You know, the young kids getting stuck in, learning from their mistakes. And I think Blighty, in my opinion, since the Meyer check mark, which was unforgivable. Yeah, I agree, Tiger Time, that kills you. But I'm really impressed with him. He stepped up. He stepped up that half, made a mistake early doors, did Blighty, and he's stuck to it. So, I mean, fair play to him. That's tough to do. Because sometimes it's easy, isn't it? Sometimes it's easy just to switch off. And I'm impressed with him. I think he's been good. I think he's been good. I'm a big fan of Membry. Hey, Nella, I'd love to see a relegation promotion, but I just think the game, with the money that's invested in the top teams, I don't think they'd do it. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I don't mind it. I'd like to see that with the state leagues. I'd like to see that with the state leagues, like having like an AFL 2. And it's the state, all the best of the state leagues, like a Super League. And then have the other state leagues play off to try and get into it. I think that could work because that might improve the money. Because it's then a sellable asset. Do you know what I mean? And then you might get players who are missing the draft, still playing in a real high professional type environment, which then I think might become a better feeder league for the AFL itself. Right, so I'm just going to do what we always do on a watch along. Go and grab a quick 10-minute break. Go and have a cup of tea. And I'm just going to go and grab some nasal stuff because my hay fever's playing up. But, love you, Lake Dog. But we will be back in 10 minutes. Okay? So I'll see you. Hey, how we all doing? Do I think... Hey, I like that, Robert. Hey, that's definitely what I'm thinking. Like, I'd love a to... I think that could really open up state football. In my predictions that I've done with my brain, not just off the top of my head, I have Collingwood 6th. 6th or 5th, but I think based on their backline movement, if they can get their ball movement like it is today, which I think will be better in season, I think they could be top 4. Like, there's a lot of champions there. I know people call them old and stuff, but they're a very good football side. As much... Thank you. As much as I don't like the pies, gotta show them respect in the terms of they are a good football side. Just cooked up a rare Scotch fillet. Ooh, hot English mustard. Thank you, babe. Brisbane. I think Brisbane will be up there. I think I had Brisbane first, second. I am hot on Geelong, which might be my detriment. I was hot on Geelong last year as well. But I think they look all right. I would have liked to have seen Sam Layla and Tom Lynch in this game. It would be interesting because some of the ball entries, especially when Samson was up top, was pants. Hey, Aiden, mate, I hope there's no injuries ever. What is going on with John de Goey? You know, GWS, them and Hawthorn are two teams that I find hard to place. Because I think both of them will be good, but I look at Hawks' draw and it's a rotten draw. Especially back end. If you look at their draw, I always look at the back end of draws. I think they're playing a lot of sides that will be fighting for the 8. And they'll be tough to beat. Don't know what you guys and girls think. But based on this, like, no offence to the Tigers, I think if this was a real game, I don't think you would have had that lull in the start, the end of the first, if that was Collingwood. But the goals they've kicked, Collingwood, have been easy goals. They haven't had to work hard. Yeah, it's tough made in Australia. I mean, this is what's great about football, is there's probably legitimately 12 teams that could do it. How do I rate the purity of the rack? Oh, I love live chat. Honestly, tell you what, it's the best thing I ever did. Melbourne are a real tough one, aren't they? Because you know what? I know everyone like goes on about the off-field, but I've probably flipped the Dogs and Melbourne in my mindset. In my mindset, just purely because of the injuries. And I was genuinely impressed by Clayton Oliver. I thought he was really good. But I mean, it's a tough one, isn't it? I mean, it's tough. Like I always say, pre-season is tough because, like I don't think in my heart of hearts Essendon would have won that game yesterday had that been for 4 points. I felt like Geelong drifted in and out of intensity where Essendon, like I said it in my review, I think they needed the win. I think they needed the vibes. So it's an interesting one because I think Essendon aren't as bad as people think, but I think they're a right middle tier side. If you brought them up into the 6s, I think they're middle tier. D's are always tough. Because you just don't know what they get. Because like the D's, like even when we weren't very good, I never worried about the D's even though they were a good side. I feel like you can beat the D's. Like your Brisbanes. I feel like your Brisbanes, you have to be 8, 9 out of 10 as a bare minimum to beat them. Where like the D's, I think you can beat them on a 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10 day because they've rarely they can have a 2 or a 1 out of 10 day. St Kilda are similar as well. I think St Kilda are similar to Essendon in that aspect, that I feel like on their day, if their ball movement gets going and the way they play, they're hard to break down, they're hard to beat. So if the game stays close, you're in trouble. But I think if you can get the jump on St Kilda, you can control the game a bit. The big slider. Oh. You know what? As it stands at the minute, I think that the Dogs, I don't think they'll finish in the 10. I think they'll finish outside the 10. I think Port might, but I did like what I saw. And it'll be interesting to see when... I feel like they're going to get that kind of like sexy approach that they're playing for Josh Carr at some point, so they'll start to get wins. But the Dogs, I just feel like early season injuries, I feel like teams are going to get an early start. And I think that you look at their back end draw, they've got problems. It's a tough back end. But I think, like, if you say you had 10 favourite sides, 10 sides that you think could potentially make the 8, I think the bottom 8 is just as tight. I agree, Paul, they're hard to beat. That's why I don't have them sliding huge. I think they slide a bit from where they were, but I still think they're in the 8. But I feel like, exactly like Tiger Time says, I feel like they'll have a bad start with the injuries, but then their back end where you can pick up wins, I feel like it's going to be a long season. I think the Pies have got a tough start, but I think they're capable. Like, I will do Laughing Magpie. I think when you look at how GWS play, they're not a strong contested side, are they, around the clearances? And I think that if you look at the ball movement Pies have shown today, that's a problem. And the one thing I'll give credit to the Pies is they're very tough to put away. And they don't go away. And GWS have them fluxes in game, don't they? Where like they'll give up 7 goals out of nothing. Hawthorn, I think 7th, Paul. I think like the bottom 3 of the 8. I don't think they'll be as good as last year. I think they've lost the element of surprise and it's a tough draw and they're playing teams around them. Ooh, everyone's hot on them. I just don't feel it. I feel like they went a year too early. Like, I was bullish on the Hawks last year. Like, I don't mind the Hawks. Good little kick there from Richmond. They've got started well. Shorts had a lot of the ball. I feel like if you drew a line between everyone who finished 5th to 14th last year, it's tough. And I think it's all going to be on your first 8 games. Carlton bottom 8. We've got a very favourable draw, but I understand anyone's reservations of Carlton. Trust me, I have reservations of Carlton. Side bottom clears their lines at the back pocket. Richmond have done very well when the ball has come into contest. As I say that, they turn it over. knocks on, and Elliott's been absolutely crunched in that tackle there. Richmond are a game here. They're really showing something early doors. Come out the blocks fast. I don't think they'll go backwards, and I don't think by going down the ladder it would be fair to say they've gone backwards. I think you look at their draw last year, it was favourable, and they were brilliant. I think that sides won't be surprised. And I think you look at the first 10 games, I don't think sides will be surprised where they were last year. And another 50 given. And it's again another senior player, Broad this time. And the brain farts have come from the older players. Tim Membry lines just in front. This will be his third goal. He's been very, very, very reliable. Been real awkward. Straight through the eye, diddle-diddle. 85 plays 34. I agree, Dalton. They're a tough side to beat. What's the better game? I think I prefer watching AFL. And another turnover and 2 kicks outside 50 again. Oh, wait, so that was a replay. I was going to say, it looked very similar. I will do. What do I say? I think for Carlton to get better, it's their second-tier players. Second-tier players for me, mate. I think the fact that Cripps won the Brownlow by so much shows the problem. Carlton's spread of effort, it relies on genius. It doesn't rely on structural brilliance. Like when you watch the Pies at the minute, been a real good spread. Look, the system there again. Kick, 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 bang. Bobby Hill has a shot goal. Feel like for Carlton, it's your tier 7 player, your 7th best player, to the 16th. That has to improve. Has to improve. Because Cripps is always going to be Cripps. Curno's always going to be Curno. It's that next tier of players. Like you look at Collingwood, you look at Brisbane. Bobby Hill's kicked a beast there. You know what? That goal umpire is my favourite. I agree. And I feel like for teams like Carlton, that has to happen. Spot on, Peter nails it. Talent-based, not system-based. I think when you look at Brisbane, you know what I mean? I agree with that said. I love my football, don't get me wrong, and I watch it. But I wouldn't be watching a practice game of football unless it was my team. Unless it was United. I wouldn't be watching Chelsea or City. What did everyone think about the breakout stars and they used Bobby Hill? Can you class him as a breakout star when he's already won a Norm Smith? Great intercept, grab there. Great to see as well. That needed to happen, I think. Yeah, I agree. Like, you look at Brisbane, their depth, but also, like, you look at that injury to Kitty Coleman, how they shifted that. Handball out the back. Jamie Elliott needs this. And the Pies now are in gear 3. What's everyone think, though, about them naming Bobby Hill as the breakout? Like, can you be classed as a breakout when you've already run the Norm? Like, because as a small forward, it can't get better, can it, than a Norm Smith? Like, individually. Like, you're not going to see a small forward win the goal kicking medal. So, like, that's probably the pinnacle, innit? Would it not? Yeah, I agree. I'd already have him in the upper echelon of small forwards. Like, for me, saying Bobby Hill, it's like saying Sam Walsh. Like, he's already won an Ayres medal. Like, I didn't agree with Sam Darcy as well, because I would argue Sam Darcy has broken out as, again, easy handball in traffic, bit of work to do. And Jed Short's got to here just calm it down. He handballs it out of traffic. That's high. Bauer's done incredibly well, turned him almost too clever, the inbound kick. Darcy more bit of ground ball work to do. Slips. Tim Taranto's asking for deliberate. Won't get it. I agree, Matt. Like, you know, to me as well, I would say, like, Jake Saligo, I think he's going to be absolutely phenomenal this year. But he's, like, played 70 games. Like, is that breakout being a staple of your side for 70 games in, like, 3 years? Ross pins it out. And Quaynor, brave mark. And it was a shocking kick. And you're starting to see lazy football from Richmond. And again, look at this from the back half from Collingwood. 3 kicks, no one's moved, had to move at all. It's been a good game, mate. And this is like what's impressive, like your top teams, even like when you look at 10th to number 1, I feel like very few of them sides don't do this. Look, these kicks here, no one's moved. Collingwood have just hit targets. They've gone back to front, 6 kicks. And this has been letting them down this entry inside 50. It's either brilliant or shocking. Mayo check! And it's an exhibition. Ed Allen's definitely breakout star. I think that's a big one. I would just say a breakout star for me is someone who's played less than 50 games and not won. And B and F or that. They've been frighteningly good, Lachlan. I'd just say that the entries haven't been the greatest, but when you have marked it or had a shot on goal, it's been deadly. I think in the first half, though, it was a little bit... Times it was just a little bit laconic. But I think that's an intensity thing. Yeah, spot on. I mean, Beachy, they're going at 100% from kicking out of the feet. So, but that ball movement there, that's going to be a problem long term. I know people want to put them out of the 8. Who would I choose, Charlie Cameron or Bobby Hill? Charlie Cameron, reason being, I'll give you a reason, right? I think Charlie Cameron can feed on shit better than Bobby Hill. Bobby Hill needs them deep entries where Charlie Cameron, I think, goes after the ball. And if you play small forward for Carlton, it ain't coming inside 50 to you, unfortunately. Like, I felt like Levi Ashcroft, breakout star for Brisbane, was a bit of a cop-out as well. But I appreciate it. But I would say breakout star as well. Oh! Steely Green, a bit of violence there. I would say breakout star can't be a year 1 player either. Because breakout to me sounds like someone that's been in the mire. In today's football, Charlie Kerner, mate. Luke Parker. Well, he's a cheap goal-kicking mid, isn't he? I don't think Carlton need experience. I think Carlton need elite users. Elite users, which... In today's game, him. Kerner. I think if I was building an old-time team, Dunstall, definitely. But I think in today's game, Charlie Kerner, all day. Manny, I agree with you. I'd imagine that you start bringing out your CB graders now, wouldn't you? Halfway through the third, you've already done everything you need to do. That's a great stat, that. Sundial. Who do I rate above Charlie? In the league? Like, in the league today? Jesse Hogan. Jeremy Cameron. But I'd say he's top 5. I'd say Cameron I have above him just because he's done it on the big stage. I think Hogan has done it for longer, which is very impressive. But I think just on current output, I'd have it. I'm also quite bored as a Carlton fan. I don't believe that you can have 2 superstar key forwards. I think one of them has to be subservient, and I feel like Carlton, they're both dominant. I like that call from Sam Durham. You know who else impressed me in the Essendon game? Do you know what I mean? Who else impressed me? Harrison Jones impressed me. Who's standing out tonight? I've really liked Jacob Blight's game, Rupert. Are you asking about Collingwood or thing? But I've really liked Blighty's game. I've really liked Tom Brown's game. I've liked how Tim Taranto's built into it as well. And I think Jayden Short has been very lively. But there's Blight again, great kick. But I've really liked Blight's game. He got beat early. Came back strong. For Collingwood, I have really liked Josh Dacos. Need Dacos. I've liked Dan Houston. I've really liked Dan Houston. I think he's been really impressive. And I've really liked, the work rate of Membry. But I'm not surprised because I was huge on Membry going to him. Shield off halfback. I gave them a lot of love. I've watched a bit of Scotty. My father-in-law's educated me on it. Yeah, when the ball goes on the overlap, though, and looking at Collingwood, they've returned to that model, was their flag winning, which was handball chains, get it going, get it going. That looks a problem. Especially for Lipinski. He'll be a good scorer. Status was good. There was a few players who were good last night. I haven't seen Perryman for a while. That's all right, Robert, mate. How are you, bro? Josh. Oh, is that a chaw? What a mark. Jamie Elliott, 2 grabs at it. And tell you what, Collingwood have started just to go up the gears. And it will be interesting if they just shelve players. But Collingwood, since that 10-minute spell in the first, they weathered the storm in the second. They've gone. I don't think so, Simmer. Hey, good, Robert. Glad to have you back, mate. I don't think there's been any injuries on both sides at this stage, Sinner. Tell you what. People had a go at me for backing in Collingwood this year. Based on this has been very cruise control. How tall's Bo McQuarrie? Maurice Rioli on the ball. Richmond fans, what are your thoughts? I've noticed they've swung him around contest quite a bit. You know what? Can I just say, you want to hear Pom's pet hate? They've been incredibly... Hey, good to see you, Nathan. Robert, they have definitely. They've gone through the motions. Easy mark from Markov. You know, my pet hate, right? Hey, Cardman, it's good football, isn't it? 18-1. You know, my pet hate is people who go to games where they're not fans wearing it. Like, I've seen 2 Carlton shirts. Now, I know people can say, but Palm, it's at the home of Carlton's football. I don't like to see a Guernsey at a game that's not either Richmond or Collingwood. Yeah, I was just going to say, because he looks deceptively tall. Hey, Manny, if you can kick like... Hey, tell you, Manny, if everyone kicks at freaking 99.9% accuracy, you got to go all right, ain't you? I don't understand why Maurice Rioli goes on the ball. Oh, the big takeout for me. I agree, Scotty and Pete. I'm glad you agree. I don't do it. I wouldn't do it. I actually find it a bit disrespectful. But I'm weird like that. I just feel like it's a bit disrespectful to the sides playing. I love that, Ben. I just wouldn't do it. You know, the big takeout for me for Richmond is the mistakes have come from their senior players. Hey, Ben, if he's a kid, I don't mind it. But, like, you know when you're, like, 35 and you've seen a guy there with a beer belly wearing his Carlton members stuff, like, come on, mate, just wear some Lacoste, bro. Tiger Time, your thoughts on what I've just said there about Richmond? Are you, like, a little bit disappointed that it's been... The mistakes have come from your senior players tonight. I don't think there's been many mistakes from you kids. Tiger Time, you did that. Look, if it's country football, wear your Carlton clobber. But, like, we're talking the pinnacle of football. Different sports, totally fine. Different sports, totally fine. But, like, do you know what I mean? Like, if you went to Arsenal, like, say you went to Arsenal Spurs and you wore a West Ham shirt, you're dead. Like, that's the way I see it. Maybe it's a cultural thing. You know, Nathan Buckley would be really interesting. Because, Sino, you're a pies man, aren't you? Right? You're a pies man. Would you say that Nathan Buckley played a very archaic brand of football? Like when you saw Fly take over, he opened it up, played that modern day. And I find it quite interesting. Quite a few of them players around that era that play that tough brand, which Buckley did, Voss did, they almost play an archaic brand of football that's contest. And I think if you speak to older fans, have you noticed that they always say, if you don't get contested ball, you're soft, you can't be good. But then you look at like Nick Dacos, who they accuse of that. Sheasel, who they accuse of that. The top players avoid contest. Avoid contest because they're good. And I always say it's like in today's football, if I judged strikers when I was a kid in the 90s, it would be like me saying Lionel Messi isn't a good striker, good footballer because he doesn't tackle. Someday, I don't know if you watched my Essendon review, I actually said this. I actually said, I think Essendon minus Stringer is better. But yeah, it's interesting that they play a very old school brand, them types of players. Because the reason I think Fly's a good coach is he was an okay player, so he always provided, so he'll have a good mindset about it. I agree, Ben. I just think the modern day football, it seems to be a thing because I hear it from people my age, 40 years old, who talk about football and go, oh, he should have got smashed there. And I'm like, yeah, but the game's moved on. Like, the centre-backs we grew up with, like Tony Adams, wouldn't last 5 seconds against Mbappe. But he was pretty good against thugs. Hey, Nathan, it's a common misconception, and he is spot on. Bucks is a club champion. I just think that some stars, why they don't make good coaches, is they play to their strengths. And Voss Bucks, their strength was that contested ball. If you're not such a good player, that's why you make a good coach. You have an appreciation, like Clarkson, spot on, of what makes the game tick. So ergo, you ain't going to play a rugged contested brand. You're going to play that modern-day flowing game. Like Adam Uze is going to be an interesting one because by looks of it, it's very defensive. Again, which me and Tiger Time were talking about earlier. I feel like they've looked better when they've got on the front foot. Brad Scott's an interesting one because if you go back to his early North, they played a very congested brand, did you see? But then he's freed it up a little bit recently when he went away and worked on it. Ben Johnson spawn. And it's a little bit like when you look at golf coaches. Good golf coaches usually are average players because they don't understand the nuance of what it is to be tough. Spot on, so I'm a firm believer, working in the coaching industry, it's easier to be a coach, a very good one, when you have a good appreciation for how hard it is to be good at it. Spot on, Laughing Magpie. It's like when people, it's an old school thing, right? It's like boxers. People criticise Floyd Mayweather, but he's a purist boxer. He avoids getting hit. But people want to see him go in for the punch. Yeah, I mean, I think Adam Uze will do well, but Tiger Time, do you feel like watching everything, stoppages, really defensive. Contest, really defensive. Even when you kick it inside 50, no one's getting goal side of the ball. And then you'll find the exceptions, great players who play as good coaches were incredible students of the game. I agree, Tiger Time. I feel like you could have gone a bit harder when you had it, and I hope that doesn't happen throughout the season. Good. You know what, though? Who has impressed me? Jack Ross, Jacob Blight, been really impressive for the Richmond. And Brownie. I'm big fans. Big fans of Blighty. Hey, maybe there's hope for me, Laughing Magpie, Ben. Hey, it's good to see you here as well. You were doing school today, weren't you? Education. Yeah, I think that's the thing, Rupert, with Sam Mitchell. He played that real ostentatious kicking style. Do you remember? And everyone criticised it because it was like a turnover sitting duck. You know, this is what I don't get about playing Maurice Rioli on the ball there. When it's contested, so fumbly. I'm going to stick with who I said at the start of the year. Nate Caddy. It's a good goal, that. Absolute beast. Richmond needed that goal. Ben, I agree with you. Like, I think in the AFL at the moment, the modern day game is going like all the ball sports, right? If you look at NFL, we're seeing less defensive sets. The defensive coaches are being more aggressive, right? NBA, the same thing. Hey, much love, Sano. Hope to see you more in chat, mate. You've been brilliant, right? Soccer, you're starting to see the same as well. A lot more aggression. We had that lull of possession football. Now it's possession football with end product. AFL is very interesting that the top coach is Fagan. Even Kingsley I'll include. And Fly. It's a quick brand, getting it away from anything that slows you down. And it's a fascinating fight because then you've got the old school coaches, Ross, defensively rigid, which makes the attack rigid because no one's playing the free flowing and things like that. It's real fascinating because Fremantle feel like they're kind of caught in that. It's quite fluid, it's very zonal, but they don't quite put that killer instinct in, do they? They're very passive with the ball. And the top teams are aggressive. If you look at Collingwood, they're happy to handball in a group of 3 players to a runner. Risk it for the biscuit. Draper, you know what? It'd be interesting. I really liked his game against Port, Matt. I don't know if you watched it. Because, good intercept mark. But I really like Draper's game because they put him on Zach Butters, and I think that's what I do with midfielders in practice. Put them on the best players there because they're not going to get hurt. In AFL, you put him on their weakest mid. Sport on, Laughing Magpie. Like, you look at sport nowadays, even golf, tennis, the aim is to shorten the hole, shorten the rally. Sport now is all about what's the quickest avenue to go, and genuinely, the best form of defence is attack. And you look at Collingwood, have you noticed its high percentage plays? Short handballs, short kicks, run hard to space. And that's pretty much every ball sport now. You look at like NFL, the passing yardages is getting shorter from the initial throw because it's higher percentage plays built in a high percentage game. Yeah, spot on. The corridor. And look at, you watch Collingwood. They've gone wide, then they go inside. So they open the play, they move the zone, that creates that gap in behind, then they attack it. Once that gap's come, once you've committed, we're going through it. Shortest way to go. So I think until someone works out a way to negate it, which I don't think we've seen yet, and I don't think contest and pressure is clever against it, because you saw like Carlton versus St Kilda last year and in the practice game. The way you kill pressure, short kicks make them chase shadows, they burn themselves out. Oh, Maurice Rioli gives a hard one there. And Membry again. That's probably his 5th mark outside of 50, being very strong there. And they set up again. And again, look, they always look for that extra kick, you see? Running on, Darcy Cameron, he kicked a wonderful goal merely 10 minutes ago. Definitely Parwan. Hey, Wooden Spoon Darter, how are you, my friend? Are you all right? I'm glad you're not streaming the same day as me. I don't want to be your rival, mate, because I love you, mate. A lot of time for him. If you don't watch Wooden Spoon Darter's stuff, if you're a bit of a numbers nerd like myself, absolute phenomenal. He's a great guy as well. Absolute great. One of the best in the industry. Hey, made in Australia, so am I. I actually cut through. We've got like, one of them sliding doors that backs onto the kitchen. So I actually cut through that, and it annoys everyone because you can actually take a shortcut to like the toilet and everything just by going through the living room. Looks like Nick Dacos has been shelved for the day. And it looks like Brody Myercheck. Is that? He has a lot of pretty pictures, Laughing Magpie. But he's a very good guy. Wouldn't spin one of the best ones in the industry. Quaynor's really been impressive as well. He's really built himself into the game. I've really enjoyed Collingwood's half-back line. So we've got quite a lot of content. Hey, Matt. Oh, mate, you are like me then. I'm the same, bro. Straight over the dance floor just to avoid people doing the Macarena and get myself a beer. But a lot of content coming up. We've got the Carlton. Hey, I love that, mate. Hey, Ben, that's genius. We've got a lot of content coming up. We've got Carlton versus GWS live. I hope you come and watch that with us. And then we're doing North Melbourne as Matt guest. Got Marnie from Kanga TV, good mate of mine. She's promised never to do a watch along. And it took me literally 2 minutes to convince her. So make sure you come and give her some support as well, because she's quite nervous about it. Good work there. But again, this is what Collingwood have done it again. And that kick out of there has been so good time and time again. Josh Dacos, Quaynor, and Dan Houston, it feels like they've gone at 100% from that kick. Absolutely brilliant. And again, patient build-up. Oh. You know what? Bowles straight back up on his feet. Spot on. The legs have gone for Richmond now. Mate, that's good housing, that, made in Australia. You've done well there. Like, that's good architecture. Back Porsche, fridge in between the dunny. You see, because we're doing the live power rankings on that Monday show that I do, the Sunday show, I think you definitely have to put the Pies ahead of the Cats. But I will say this. My reservation with the Cats is I don't think they went full bore against Essendon. So I'd probably still have them the top four. If this backline movement, and Lipinski has been fantastic down that outlet, I think the Pies, you'd have to have them in. That transition game is dangerous. Early or tips? What do you mean? Early or round tips? Hasn't every, round zero, hasn't every round zero, we've had, it's just been home team? Lions at the Gabba, unbeatable. Sydney, I think Sydney will beat the Hawks. Gold Coast, Essendon at Gold Coast, I think it's going to be a fortress. GWS Collingwood, you know what? I reckon the Pies win that one. Depends what I see when we play them. And there it is. There is the third quarter, and it has been really, what is a shame, it is a blowout at the minute. But again, Collingwood, look, smiles, there's chuckles, there's high fives. Do you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure Bo McQuarrie there and McStay are doing a thumb war. It's been very easy, and the big problem here for Richmond is I think the kids have stood up. I think the young lads are going well. It's been the mistakes from Broad. It's been the mistakes and the sloppiness from Vlosten at times. That's just cost them some momentum. It's been when momentum's been building. Hey, it's not often me and CRX. Jesus, that's a lot of letters, mate. Yeah, I'm going to go all home teams, but I think Pies beat GWS. But I'm the worst person to talk to about this because I don't rate GWS. I think GWS, I genuinely think GWS are, they're like Leicester City when they won the Premier League, right? Everyone likes them because they love it. And it's pathetic. Because you can't have two teams. You can't have a soft spot. But I just think Pies win. I even think full strength would win. I'm with you, Scott. I don't get it. I don't get it. I think it might be the Guernsey. I think everyone seems to like Kingsley, and I find him annoying. Anthony, good point. Here, tell you what, chat, you've got a free-to-enter tipping comp as well. Give me 5 seconds, and I will put it in the chat for you. Am I stupid? Could be. You know, it's funny, we're talking about Stringer. I talked about it in the review. I felt like how Essendon played with him, they relied on him, because he's there. By how much will Carlton beat Tigers by? Oh. Jeez. That's a free tipping comp there for you. There's some cash prizes to be won as well. So all the rules are you've got to be subscribed to the channel. May the best man or woman win. I agree with you, Scott. I think it's a myth. I think they're just a good side. How much will Carlton beat Tigers by? I'm going to go 68. Scott, you know what? I was saying this. I wonder if Tiger Time remembers it. Do you remember 2019 when you came out with that bullish statement that it's Carlton's grand final and we'd just come off the 2-win year? Right, we'd come off the 2-win year. And we showed something in that first quarter and a bit. And then you guys went up a gear. And Grimes did his calf and Rance did his ACL. That's my fear in this game. That Carlton don't want to go in there thinking we've got to beat them up. Go in there and just get the win. Because they're the games you get injured in when you try too hard. When you overexpel yourself. No, Matt, it's okay. Because I'll have a method to check. Do you know what I mean? But you'll get to feature on the Sunday AFL show, the Kickback AFL Footy with Pom. We'll go through that. We'll have a bit of a laugh if you do wrong. I'm not very good at tipping because I use my heart way too much. And I have a few superstitions. Like last year, I tipped against Carlton every game. And that's something that stuck with me through football. Never tip your own team. So yeah, get into that tipping comp, totally free. Some cash prizes to be won for the top 3. Spot on, like dog. I'm the same, mate. I have some rules. I have some POM rules that we abide by. Hey, Manny. Manny, you watch. I'll tip Richmond round 1, bruh. I ain't been the reason Carlton lose, bruh. Because every time someone convinces me to tip Carlton and say it's a lock, it backfires. Do you know what I mean? Now it backfires, big sell. And then I'm like, my fault. Hey, Anthony's a genius. Do you know what I mean? Like, guarantee, if I click Carlton to win that game, Richmond win. Richmond win it. If I tip Carlton to win that game, kick after the siren, Josh Bower kicks one from 55 and Carlton lose by a point. And you'll be watching me here going, I knew I shouldn't have tipped him. I knew it. I can't bring myself to do it. Like, I'd rather be 8 out of 9 and not be the reason. My boys get too much excuse. Yeah, I do, Sav. Yes, like Dog knows. Like Dog knows my luck. Are they actually taking bets as we start the 4th quarter? Are we actually taking bets? Hey, Rich. Are they actually taking bets in this? We need to start getting some intel from AFL clubs, bro. We could make some money here. Cryptic Tony. We could make some cash. Hey, that's... What are the odds? Oh, out the front. And that is another memory goal, and it's another sloppy goal. It's another sloppy goal for Richmond. Very lazy effort. And you know what? He's been very good as Membry, and my boy, yes, he's been a good signing, eh? Oh dear, I like a bit of Tim Membry as well. Gotta say, doesn't he suit a Pies Guernsey? Leg dog, it's a weird one, isn't it? Yeah, that's his fourth, mate. He's banging him in. I'm gutted as well, Sav. But year out. A year out, work on the body, less pressure. That's, you know what? You know what? They are very good entries. Very good entries when they've done it, Richmond. They've got it in them. Here's Liam Fawcett he's done that one eye thing to aim things. Played around a golf a while back and someone did that, like plumb bobs, and it took hours, mate. And he missed every putt. Misses it wide. And this has been probably the first time we've seen Collingwood go long from an entry. And have you noticed a big difference to when you see other teams go long from this area? They play a player out the back and out the front. They are Sav, mate. Totally free. Cash prizes to be won. Still can't believe you paid that much for a toasty, Matt. Can you... Chat, what would you pay for a cheese toasty? The most you'd pay. Counted for the 2025 Premiership. Mate, I hope so. Great little ball inbound. Again, Collingwood's ball use has been a real delight, really, all game. And obviously the critics will say they lost to Gold Coast after 2 hours and Brisbane. And they played Richmond. But I'm with you, Pete. I'd say $8 tops. And I'd expect that $8 to be the best $8 I've ever had in my life. Mate, how expensive is the food at Icon? Absolute joke, innit? And they charge 4 figures for membership. Mugs. We are 50 cents. Manny, I'm with you. You know food that I can easily make at home, I'd begrudge paying for. Ed Allen did look all right there, and he's back again as well. Great kick there, straight out in front, and another player, and look at that, 3 kicks. Jamie Elliott, $5, probably fair. Based on the practice games, North should win quite easy. An exhibition football there from Collingwood. Don't like to see that, a bit of disrespect to the opposition there. Do the job. Yeah, but... Hey, Scotty, mate. Pack lunch it, bro. And again, Collingwood worked this out, but Josh Dacos has balls that up. Matt, Carlton are horrific for food. Collingwood, what would have put it to chips set me back at Vic Park? Legit. Honestly, have you... Ed Allen goes through traffic and again they build from the back. Isaac Quainer spins, gives it back to Josh. And this time, Josh decides to put it on top of Slidebottom, who's on Nankervis. Nankervis wins. Scotty, even the coffees are expensive as Richmond produce a turnover. And they've done pretty well from turnover, has to be said. What do you think, Tiggs? They've been pretty good, man, and Steely Green has a shot at goal. I even think... Hey, spot on, Laughing Magpie. That's what we need. Even the coffees in that coffee shop, they're expensive, mate. Very easy for them at the moment now, Albert. They're going through the motions. And Steely Green has hit another push. And it's 42-121. Why do you think it's expensive, though? Do you reckon, is that like a third-party business? Hey, tag time. It's been put. I thought Collingwood have been really solid. I think the movement down back has been absolutely impressive. I think they've been really, really strong. I think their handball game, their target hitting, everything I look for in pre-season, just them fundamentals, has been A-grade. I think they'll be a serious football side this year. That back line is peng, and that forward line is better than it was last year. I actually think this list is better than their flag-winning team. Mansell. Richmond really need to leave here with a goal. They've had a cheap free kick and a stupid intercept. Hopper thinks about it. McIntosh. Fumbly there from Cameron. Scotty Tompkins, do you think, though, like, just like, you know, at Vic Park, as they rush it out for a behind, at Vic Park and at Houston's been very impressive. Very impressive. Like, honestly, their back half movement, absolutely sensational. Do you think, though, is that like a franchise? Is that like a private enterprise? Because it would make sense if Carlton just got volunteers to fry some dogs or something, wouldn't it? You know, some hot dogs, put them in some water, put some chips, like... Because the premium can't be that high. Like, a Carlton really stiffing a business to be in there. And again, look, Collingwood's handball straight from transition, and that's been huge from them. Will Parker just short there. That's been huge. That's a big change from last year, going for handballs. I agree, Scotty, though. That should be the model. Like, food nowadays at these sporting events is obscene, bruh. Has to be said, though, 20 goals won. Amazing. Yeah, that's a great call by Ben. They are literally the godfathers of modern day football. Mrs. Pom, your former team member, is killing it for Collingwood. The Pies fans, thank you very much.
You're not welcome. Still salty about...
Mrs. Pom's still salty about Collingwood beating her beloved Saints in the granny. Richmond try and clean it up. Try and clean it up as they build again. You know what has been impressive? Lipinski has kept his arse on the ground all game. Does anyone else, and this is probably harsh, Will Hoskin-Elliott, is he the worst best player to ever play football? Ed Allen builds up again. Collingwood's going back to go forward has been absolutely impressive. Lipinski saying he's going for it. Has he got a 55 kick in him? No one believes he does. But again, look at that. How busy Collingwood are ahead of the ball. And Dan Houston again. Dan Houston, to answer your question, has been very, very good this game. Very, very good. Very, very impressive. 121 plays 43. Behind. No, I don't mean that nastily. Right? I don't mean it nastily. Like, don't take me wrong. I mean, like, just, like, very underrated. Like, the worst best player. Like, just someone that surprises you that seems to get games all the time, but no one talks about him. But he's a very steady player who's, you know, like Mason Wood. Hopeless forward, was trialled down back, then found his niche as a winger. Hoskin Elliott's got that similar vibe check, I think, that people didn't rate him when he played forward, but then he's found and worked hard on his craft. So I mean that, like, is a compliment, worst best. Ed Allen with another tackle. Yeah, it sounds harsh, but it's love. It's all love. It is very hot here as well, mate, but I'm a Pom. I've been here like 11, 12 years. And once it gets over 20, mate, I am checking out emotionally. Richmond again looked to go quickly. Yeah, I agree, Ben. Like, yeah, I just think he works really hard. No, that's probably fair, Terry. I just feel like he's one of them players that don't get talked about. And again, Collingwood, when they get the ball back, this has been, honestly, a delight to watch. Their movement off the back half down this left side has been, honestly, it's Brigitte Bardot in the 60s. Like, it's really good. What do I think about Meatloaf in 2011? The food or the singer? Well, his grand final was poor, wasn't he? But I actually went to go and see it. It was one of the last things I did before my pop got bad dementia, but we went to go and see Meatloaf live in concert at Castle Howard. And, like, honestly, one of the best nights out, man. Quality night out. He was good live back in England. Might not like Australia or something. Like a bat out of hell, I'll be gone in the morning comes. Jamie Elliott, he's been very quiet at the start, but he's built in. Any positives for Richmond tonight? I think the positive has been, in my opinion, and I'd love to know what Tiger Time thinks, I think Blight, Tom Brown have stood up really, really good tonight. I think the big issues, if I was a Richmond fan, I'd be disgusted with the efforts of some of my senior players. When they had momentum in the late in the first, early second, I felt the brain farts the senior players had put way too much pressure on them. But I really, really like some of their youth. I think they've really had a good go. I think Jack Ross has been really solid as well. Camden McIntosh, I think, has been lively. But Jack Bauer, I think they've got a really good second-tier core. And I think Blight and Bauer and players like that are going to be really, really important in the long season. Sav. Mate, the problem is with these practice games, as I used to do when Carlton showed something in a quarter against Hawthorn, I'd be texting my mates going, I'll batter you, mate, when we play. Oh, Brown and Ross there's conspired. And this has been what Collingwood have... they just have so much time in the world down back. I agree, Henry. I'm a big fan. You know what, though? This is a controversial Pom call. I don't think the AFL Grand Final should have international acts. I think it should be proper Aussie stars. I'd like to see more local acts. Because, the best part of the Grand Final, in my opinion, right? Another intercept mark from Quainer. He's been really good, right? But the best part of, let's be honest, best part of the AFL Grand Final, Mike Brady comes out, guitar, looking dishevelled, singing Up There Kazali. Let's be honest, outside of that, you could have anyone on the stage. No one cares. Do you know what I mean? They never get more of a sing-along than that guy with an acoustic guitar singing Up There Kazali. No one cares after that. You could be Justin Timberlake, Robbie Williams, anyone, no one cares. So I like to see, like, you know, Crowded House, who you might argue are Kiwi, like proper Aussie bands. And then, like, some young Aussie unique talent. I agree, it's an Australian sport. This ain't the NFL where we've got, I mean, you know, posh people watching it on Monday because, oh, look at me, this is really cool. I like NFL, aren't I cool? In reality, this is a proper game. So, like, let's be honest, I want working class music. You see, to me, not Taylor Swift, like, it's got to be an Aussie act. Oh, Collingwood made a miss. No, I agree, the international acts are good, like Lionel Richie. Robbie Williams was good, he's my boy. Do you know what I mean? Good surname. But let's be honest, this is Australia. Let's keep it within its realms. Like, even the Killers were good, man. But, come on. Like, I just want Mike Brady just to play Up There Kazali for 7 hours. I understand, though, Kiss, it's niche, innit? Because I think it's working class, innit, Australia? So it's got to be working class. But for me, I'd keep it Australia. I didn't like Tones and either. But I agree, they have to do it. Yeah, it's the biggest stage in Australia, the biggest sporting event. Why have we got overseas acts that don't even know what it is? It's not like the NFL. Like, you ain't going to get some bloke in New York 7 in the morning watching this game. Unless they're Australian. Here we are. Bob Aquari has a shot. Who would you get? Do you know what I mean? It's a tough one, isn't it? Who would you want? You put me on the spot. Well, I mean, you'd want John Farnham there, wouldn't you? Like, you got to. Like, he's Mr. Australia, isn't it? Like, if I think Australian music, I've never heard of him when I lived in the UK, I'll be honest, even though he is a POM. But that's John Farnham's massive. But I would like a big Australian artist now, like Sia, she was huge. She's Australian. Like, why didn't she ever do it? Thirsty Merc, I know who they are. Yeah, like, just some big there's got to be some big Australian bands in the charts now, either, as well. Jimmy Barnes? I mean, there, you thinking it. I mean, obviously, we can't have NXS. Cold Chisel. Let's see what people are thinking now. This is what I'm saying. Go Australian. AC/DC still around? Like, they might be 85 years old. Are they still touring? Eskimo Joe? Mate, who doesn't like black fingernails, red wine? Yeah, Powderfinger, brilliant. You've got this. Spawn. And then there's got to be some, like, young bands that we can promote, like, good young Australian talent. See, I fixed it. Where do I sign up to be the president of AFL? I'll do it now. Guy Sebastian?
Frenzel Rom.
Who?
Frenzel Rom.
Frenzel Rom. Do I get cancelled for saying that? Because you're saying it with a big smile? Frenzel Rom, Mrs. Pom says. Uh-huh. Yeah, but you see, that's what the AFL will do, won't it? Right? They'll bring Taylor Swift in because she's like current and she sold out the G 4 times. Well, they'll do something like that, and like, no offence, but no offence. Would you say the average AFL fan listens to Taylor Swift? Like, do you think the average... I know we're a multicultural society, but would you say the staple 60%er who goes to the AFL listens to Taylor Swift. Like, it doesn't happen. Yeah, spot on, Sav. No, it's no offence to Taylor Swift, but, like, it's Australian rules footy, innit? Like, as a foreigner, I would expect to watch the AFL Grand Final and get Australian acts. I don't think it's big enough globally to warrant Taylor Swift or Katy Perry. Like, Katy Perry was garbage, man. And Richmond here having a go at Jack Ross again, and a great kick into the middle. And Jacob Hopper, we haven't really seen much of Hops, but he's going to do something. Now, genuinely, I just think that's my belief. You know, my thing with the Australian anthem as well, and one thing that makes me happy in Australia is, you know, when you sing your anthem, you don't over-sing it. Because have you ever seen, like, Americans when they get, like, Christina Aguilera to sing Star Spangled Banner and she's warbling? And there's a goal for Hopper who celebrates it, and I think he might forget he's nearly 100 points down. Good little bit of football, that. It's good to see some players are still engaged, Tiger. He has been very strong, Ed Allen. But yeah, genuinely. But I'm an old school traditionalist. Like, I still stay quiet during the... People who watch the watch-alongs will attest. I'll stay quiet during the pomp and circumstance out of respect. I don't talk over the anthem and stuff. But I just think you should do it properly. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd hate us to get, like, some opera singer and a holding the note and milking the crap out of it. You know, funny story, Scotty, about Waltzing Matilda. I went to school with Mrs. Pom, and this is a true story, right? They started singing the national anthem of Australia, and I looked confused because I had a brain fart, and I thought the national anthem of Australia was Waltzing Matilda, and I was like, when the fuck are you changing national anthem? And it, honestly, proper Spud Pom moment. And the reason that I thought it was that was, do you remember Brian Lara Cricket? When he used to play the Ashes mode? When Australia, when they used to do the mock anthems? It was da 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 da. And for some reason, I'd totally forgotten 18 years of education. But genuinely, I was shocked when they were like, oh, can everyone please rise for the national anthem? And I'm like, this ain't your anthem. So Richmond looked to wind down the game. Did it really? I didn't know that, Sky. Oh, Travis, I just think it's like, to me, I'm glad when people sing your anthem at these events, though. They don't milk the song. Like, they don't take the piss out of it. Because I find it incredibly disrespectful for Americans, and I'm not a big American fan, I'll be honest. But when I watch, like, the NBA, and you've got, like, Christina Aguilera trying to turn it into... What was that song she sung? Dirty.
Fighter.
What?
Fighter.
Fighter.
Fighter. Yeah, that's what it's called. Isn't it called Fighter?
No, that Dirty song. Help me out.
Yeah, help me out.
Christina Aguilera, she was like...
Wasn't it called
Yeah, it was.
Fighter?
It had Redmond at the start. You ain't here to party. It's Dirty. Thank you.
Oh, wrong again.
Hey, Sav, it's been very impressive performance. Like, it's 21-5. Hey, Laughing Magpie, I've been trying not to say that to him. But I think they will have learned a lot. I mean, for me, the big takeaway is their kids are all right. Their second tier are, but when you've got Broad giving away. Like, this transition football's been good. That's a shame. He deserved a goal. I'd refresh your stream, Sav. 1 minute 7 left. It's a good shout, that. She's all right, is Mrs. Pam. So a minute to go. So, I mean, let's go with the takeaways we've learned here. Collingwood's backline is supreme. Their ball movement is going to be a problem. Some positives, though, for Richmond will be that they have made chances. Their young lads have stepped up. Do you know what I mean? Their young lads have stepped up. Some real brain fades from their senior players, but this is, I hate to keep repeating it, a year of learning for them, and I think they are in a good place long term. Oh, cheers, Lasers, mate. I really appreciate that. It's something that I'm surprised we don't have a men's mental health round. Even if I think men's health issues are probably unpopular now, I think men's mental health is incredibly important. I think it's very sad to see so many young men struggling. And I think what great a way to make it a highlight at an event where a lot of young men up and down the country will tune in on a Saturday, Sunday to watch this with dads and family. And I hope it's not something disgusting, like a minute's silence. I want it to be a minute of cheers to encourage men to talk. Like, I'd hope they'd do it a different way. I think the fact we've got Spud's game is everything for me. Why is that not a round thing? Like, I'd love us to do it. And I hope we live in a generation that does it. But 19 seconds to go. And the Pies, to be fair, and this is all due respect to my boy Tiger Time in here, I don't think they've gone third, fourth gear. I don't think they've got out of third gear. And it is quite ominous. But Richmond, I think they'll take some positives. I think Bauer, they'll take positives. The Brown experiment seems to have worked. I think Blighty looks really strong, and he'll learn a lot this year. Do you know what I mean? He's going to be like Jacob Waitering in his first couple of years. Hey, mate, Fred, I've been big on you Bullocks for a while. But Pies win it 131-49. And absolutely sensational effort from them. Richmond, it's been a tough day at the office. It's one of them ones that you just want to get back into the sheds and go to bed. But it's going to be interesting. Because I don't think they're huge away. I don't think they're miles away at times. But they're best to their worst, and their legs went very early. And that's going to cost them, I think, next year. But you know what? I think around the contest, they were all right. Clearances, they did very well. I just think they were very defensive at times. But Collingwood, the story will be the ball movement down the back half. They went big with Danny Houston. He looks sublime. Dacos, even Ed Allen slotted into it. Phenomenal. Hey, made it. Great point, mate. Prostate cancer doesn't get. Honestly, it doesn't get. That's something in the UK that's really huge at the minute. The awareness of prostate cancer, which surprises me that I don't hear about it much. Like in Australia as well. But like in the UK, they really drum that home as well. It's a real big thing, a real big awareness. Testicular cancer as well, yeah. You know what? I'd maybe do like a men's health round. I'd call it the men's health round and like try and push these agendas. Like have a team playing for each cause. If they want to try and spread the burden a little bit, do you know what I mean? Yeah, I agree, Sav, yeah. I mean, in the UK, when you're a certain age, I think it's 45, they send you it with the NHS. The NHS just send you it and say, we're going to test you. She's always nice to the... Do you know what I mean? Always a bit of a worry to get that through. Not far off it, mate. I'm not far off that time of my life as well. But that, mate, honestly, chat, most fun I've had for a long time. I've missed watch-alongs, and I can't believe I haven't been doing enough watch-alongs. So I love being live with you guys and girls in chat. So, couple of points of agenda. We'll be back tomorrow with a review of this game and the preview of the Carlton game. There's a preview of the North game that we're doing with Mans. So make sure you go and check us out. We've got the Carlton watch-along as well. All the reviews of the games as well coming up. If you are a Collingwood fan, in 10 minutes, your fan cams is there because I'm a nice guy. And also remember the ESPN Footy tip in comp. We are giving away $200 cash prize for first, 100 for second, and 50 for third. Chance to make some money. All you've got to do is do me the solid and like and subscribe. Make sure you are subscribed and give me a chance. We are working very hard on the content. You have noticed, you old timers, content has changed a lot. A lot of work has gone in the off season to being a better YouTuber and a better human being, more importantly. So I'm working very hard there. And that is the link there. So I will see you tomorrow with more content. I'll be live for Carlton GWS. And then at the end of the week, you've got me for North Melbourne versus West Coast with Marnie. So I'm looking forward to that. Peace, love and light. I'll see you on the flip side. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. Peace.